In 1990, Hunter and I had the idea of a musical based on Star Wars. This came about when we were looking at some old Star Wars figures and just kind of playing with them and pretending like they were singing to each other.
And we came up with Creatures Assemble that night, Dark Darth Vader, and I think Do You Speak Bocce? And at that time the idea was the dumbest moments would be made into songs, the moments that should not have a song, because it's the stupidest little moment that just doesn't deserve any time at all. We'll make a huge song out of it. That was the original joke behind the whole thing.
It wasn't until, man, at least 5 years later, 5 or 6 years later, that I actually started writing the musical, writing those songs that we had joked about before. And so I started going through the movie and thinking, where would songs go if this was a musical, and also keeping in mind that I knew it was never going to be actually performed. It was just going to be kind of a concept album, just recordings of songs, and I figured, you know, we would sing on it, some other friends would sing on it. It would just kind of be like a low-budget type production like that, and nothing that the rest of the world would ever hear.
Years later, Tim actually had started it and made it and called me up and said, hey, come hear it. And it was just the orchestration, not even fully fleshed out yet. It was, I think, just piano stuff at that point. And Tim just took his lyrics and sang through it there in his room. I was like, yeah, I can see this is really going to work. It's really going to be funny.
At the time, Fan of the Opera, Les Miserables were both very popular, and I was heavily influenced by those. So I had kind of the perfect mix of a theatrical Broadway type of a, you know, inspiration as well as movie soundtrack inspiration, and kind of put those together into what Star Wars the Musical became.
And this was in the early days of CD burning being part of your home setup. CD burning drives had just started to come out, so we were like, oh, we can make a CD of it. That was like, I remember, a big deal. It was like, it's going to be permanent. It's on the CD, so we have to make really good performances. We even talked about that endlessly. It's got to be perfect for the CD. It's got to be perfect for the CD.
6 and 10.
We had many recording sessions with Hunter. I think it's because we're both very picky, and because Luke is the main character. Just many different sessions of what do we want him to sound like, and are we happy with the performance.
We had to do a lot of takes, and we would think we had it, you know? It'd be like, oh, that was great, perfect, great, we finally got it. We'd go, and then like a week later, Tim would call me, yeah, really need to re-sing some of that. Well, it wasn't bad, it was just like, it was kind of bland. It was like I was trying to do Luke real innocent and kind of naive, like he is in the movie, you know, but it just doesn't come across, so you just gotta have more rah! And all that, so I'm just gonna kind of top it more, you know, do more with it.
All in all, I think it took about 2 years to write it, record the singers, record the instrumentalist, get the final mix, and get it done. We wanted it to kind of be done around the time Episode 1 came out, to say like, hey, Star Wars, everybody. If you're excited about this, maybe you'll be excited about this. But it wasn't actually done until a couple months after that movie came out, and in the end, it really didn't matter.
It took so long to record because we had no budget. I had a day job. Everyone else that sang in it had a day job. You just get together when you can do it.
So no one was paid, even some of the singers that we really didn't even know. Everyone did it kind of as a favor, or because they were a friend. I sang Obi-Wan and C-3PO. I sang Obi-Wan as if it was Colm Wilkinson.
One day more.
Jean Valjean in Les Miserables.
Another day, another destiny.
If this was ever really a musical, I would cast him as Obi-Wan Kenobi, so why not sing it like him?
Just around the corner, there's a man.
I always think it's interesting to note that no two people were recorded at the same time.
Yeah.
I may have recorded a part in You that we sang in a song together, but they had been recorded months apart. We would just go wherever we needed to go to record whoever we needed to record, whether it be an instrumentalist or a singer.
TK421, why aren't you at your post?
So at the time, this was before I was even doing any editing on the computer at all, and so everything was literally mixed on this little 8-channel mixer. So I would listen to the songs and I'd be writing the faders, you know, saying, okay, boost Luke here, lower the sound effects here. And we had every track, every instrument, all in this one little machine. Remember the day, I think this is either first or second day of recording Luke, and we lost it? I turned off the machine without
You didn't
saving
save. Yeah.
We worked for about 3 or 4 hours and forgot to save.
Who forgot to save?
Forgot to save the songs.
If we're successfully funny in Star Wars the musical, it's in moments like at the end of the walls are closing in, the trash compactor scene.
With the pressure maintenance hatch on unit number, where are we?
326 3826.
And they're singing numbers. It's so dumb.
Like, that's the most important thing in the
Yeah,
show.
it's just the song stops and it's just
No, it's not about getting out.
Yeah,
What
it's-
were the numbers?
and Han really just 326. That's funny. That's the whole humor of the whole thing. Is those little moments.
Yeah, the beginning of Obi-Wan. We take one line that C-3PO says in the movie about, should I shut down because you don't need me anymore. So I took it the more emotional spin on it and more like, oh, he doesn't need me anymore, but I'll be here if you ever do, and just made it into this big intro to that song.
This looks so stupid. I'm C-3PO. You speak my Now we want to understand the bartender. He's someone that we
Do you want to understand his pain?
Yeah, we want to all relate to him, and he tells the story of us all.
Red 10 standing by.
That's horrible. She's like, it's like a freedom. It's like she's emancipated from this labor that she's had to go through. She's gonna have like free time to study and read the ancient texts. You see?